Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? My name is Kyle, you know me as Dragonmar, and welcome to a new video. Today's something a little special. We have something that a lot of people have asked me for over the course of the video making so far, and that is a post-plant Brimstone Molly guide. I'm going to be going over one Molly for each bomb site on every map. I'm going to be going over my personal favorite and some of the best Mollies in the game, and I hope you guys enjoy. We'll be starting things off on a site on bind. Now, probably one of the most common spots that you see the bomb planted is right here at what most people would call default. It's right next to this APC and right on the corner of where the bomb site begins. And part of the reason why it's so good to plant here is because you can just throw a sage wall down in between these boxes and completely cover it off. So, how can we go for a post-plant molly? Well, as you probably guessed, we're going to jump into this corner right here. Now, the next thing we have to do is we have to make sure we have our shadows on. Everything should look like this, 1920 by 1080. Nothing crazy going on with my graphics, so yours guys should look pretty similar. What we're actually looking at is right above where the flame, there's sort of that little triangle at the bottom above my Q. I'm going to line this triangle up sort of on the top of that shadow, and then I'm going to push it up just a little bit like this, and I'm going to shoot. And as you'll see, the Molotov will fall directly in front of the APC and actually pretty much directly on the bomb. I sort of tweaked this a little bit to make sure it landed perfect. You can go a little higher, and if you go a little higher, it'll actually land a little further out, which will give you a bigger sort of bloom on the fire and make it even better, actually. Next molly is B site on bind. We're going to be planting for a post-plant spot here in Hookah, and as part of this spot, we'll be planting in the sort of right default position instead of planting for guarding. So, to throw this post-plant molly, what you're going to do is you're going to run over to this box right here outside of Hookah. You're going to slam yourself into the corner. Next, you are going to line up right below where your health is. You're going to line up that little line with the beginning of sort of this cross section of wood. The end of the line there with the cross section of wood. Then you're going to bring your crosshair to the very, very edge of the top of the box, and you're going to fire. Once you shoot, your molly should look something like this. Perfect. And as you can see, that landed perfectly on that one. Sometimes they will be a little short to the right, but I think in general, if you just really, it looks like the molly is going to hit the corner, or it's going to hit the top of the box in this one. So once again, line up that bottom left section, bring the crosshair to sort of the very, very top here. Try again. As you can see in the bottom left, it's still on the wood. You want to make sure it's still on the wood there, and we'll shoot this one. See how it lands. And once again, it went on top this time, but as you can see, you're still covering the bomb very well. Alright guys, next up we have A on Haven, one of my favorite sites to play, and we have a post-plant molly for sort of any plant that's in this area of the site that can be defended towards a long. So let's say the bomb is planted right here. All you have to do is run to these double stack boxes, wedge yourself into the corner once again, take your crosshair, place it, see this little crease right here? You're going to place it right to the right of this crease just a little bit. Bring yourself in line with the top of the boxes. Then you're going to bring yourself in line with this actually the second part, which is going to be a little bit higher up of this sort of wooden stick that goes up. So we're going to bring ourselves in line with the crease, a little bit to the right. First stick, second stick, a little bit higher. And we're actually going to shoot right here. What's really cool about this molly is that you can sort of angle yourself left or right depending on where the bomb is planted to make it work for you. So as you can see on this one, I'm able to cover more of the middle, but it sort of leaves the right side a little bit exposed. So all I have to do to account for that, get back in my corner, bring my crosshair right here, a little more to the right this time, back up again, and we'll shoot a little more to the right this time. And this is what's so great about these mollies is that you can kind of adjust them on the fly. As you can see right there, it hit the top, so you do have to be careful. In that case, I'd want to pull up a little bit more. So let me show you that one more time just to make sure we're perfect here. We're going to go first to the crease, a little to the right of it, up again, and then I'm going to go a little higher this time just to make sure that we don't accidentally bounce over the bomb. Good thing is the molly will still spread. But as you can see this time, much better, very close to the bomb, And we got a little more distance here just to make sure no one can kind of sneak their way into this defuse. Next up, we have B-site on Haven. Now, this is one of the really fun ones because this is almost something that you can win on your own. If you smoke off left and right side, you can plant the bomb right here pretty easily most of the time. So how do you defend this with a post-plant molly? Well, a lot of the times you're going to be playing from window, or you'll have someone playing from window. So what you'll want to do as Brim is you'll want to escape, get out of window, and get yourself into this corner over here. Once you're in the corner of this box, all you have to do is get your crosshair close to this sort of edge here, bring your molly emblem all the way up here to the top, and see that little triangle right below the mouse icon? All it has to do is be roughly on the corner of this beam right here. Right here, I'm going to put it at the bottom of the beam like this. I can see the triangles at the bottom, and I'm going to shoot. I'll even do one more just from a slightly different spot. A little high. This is one of those mollies that is so perfect. You can kind of miss a little bit and still get a great molly out of it. This is by far one of the best ones I've seen so far. And this is also by a YouTuber named Brush, so I'm going to leave his link in the description below. Next up, we have probably one of the most common plant spots of any map, is planting safe here on C on the map Haven. So this is really common, and this is also a super easy molly. All I'm going to do here is I'm going to run back into long, and I'm going to look at this little sort of picture frame or painting or whatever this is, piece of art on the wall. I'm going to go right in the middle of it. So I'm going to go right in the middle of this. I'm going to turn around and face towards the bomb. Here's what I have to do. I'm going to this time use my smoke icon. So I'm going to bring my smoke all the way up here, right above where it says E. It's going to be that sort of bottom dot of the 4. And I'm going to bring it slightly above the second sort of tip here. So I'm going to bring my bottom of that smoke to the second tip, up a little to the right, just a little bit like that, just so it's barely off of that top of the tip. And we're going to shoot. And what's really cool about this molly is that you can kind of wing this from almost anywhere back here, as long as you get a rough idea of where it's going to be. As long as you can bank it off of this, you're pretty much golden, and you'll be able to stop any plant that tries that, or any defuse that happens on the C bomb site. Next up, we have A site on split, and this time we're going to be planting safe, and we're going to be planting behind this gigantic pillar here. So if you run too short to play this bomb, which is honestly a really good idea, especially for trying to delay plants, what you could do is you could jam yourself into this wall right here, point straight down at the ground, line yourself up with the crack right here. So you're lined up just like this against the wall. Then you're going to aim up. You see this first light? You want to line your crosshair up with the right side of where it starts. Put yourself up in line with the line of this of those white lines, and then just push it a little tiny bit up further, just like so, and we're gonna shoot. And this molly is great because you don't have to go too far away from the bomb to be able to do it. And as you can see, it lands pretty perfectly every single time. All you really have to do here is if they plant closer to you, just aim a little bit higher. So in this case, all I'm going to do, I'm going to aim straight back up, get myself in line a little bit higher this time. Then as you can see, this is going to land directly on top of the bomb, and there's absolutely no way that someone is going to be able to get this defuse off, especially with time running out. I mean, this post-plant molly is actually just too good, and it keeps you close enough to where as you molly, you can walk yourself around, and you can catch people hopping off the bomb, things like that. This is a really good one. I like this one a lot. All right, I hope you guys are ready for a 2-for-1 here on B. So, the most common spots, right side of the box, left side of the box. Regardless of where you plant, this molly should work for both. So, what we're going to do is we're going to come towards CT, and we're going to head over to this back corner. Then, we're going to slam ourselves into the corner of this wall right here, and we're going to back up until about halfway in the middle. Just do a rough estimate, in between these two. Of this wall here. Then we're pulling out our molly and we're turning around and we're looking up. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our molly emblem. Right above it, you have the triangle, the line, and then you have the mouse. We care about the line above that first triangle above our molly emblem. What we want to do is we want to sort of pair it right next to this area right here. And so we're going to put it just like this. If you plant on the left side from where we're facing, you want to go a little more to the left. If you plant on the right, a little more to the right. Let me show you. A little more to the left, or a little more to the right. Now take a look at these mollies. These are pretty awesome. So this one right here lands a little more to the left. This one right here goes a little closer to the box, but also covering this right side. So if you do plant to the right, make sure you angle towards the right from this angle. It's really, really hard to get a molly that's going to hit this bomb site. So this is one of the best ways that I found to be able to do it. Once again, this time I'm going to go a little bit, even a little further this time actually. As you see, I'm in between these, lined up with this wall here. Let's take a look. This one, a little more acceptable. By the way, laying on top of the box, beautiful, right? You have both sides perfectly. And anyways, this is by far one of the coolest mollies I've found so far in the game, actually. Next up, we have Ascent, and on Ascent, we're going to be on the A bomb site. So, from my experience so far, there's been the majority of the plants circle around generator. It's really easy to get like a nice safe plant from about this angle. So we're going to pretend the bomb is in this area. Now, when I plant for generator, I like to play back on cat a lot. This is a great way to catch rotates. You can catch some great off angles from where people aren't going to expect you. So what we can do is we can slam ourselves into the corner here, as always. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring our crosshair high up into the sky. And I'm actually going to use above the molly this time again. So above our Q, we're going to look right below where the mouse is, once again, to the triangle and the two lines on either side. I'm going to bring that left line right to the tip of sort of this little, I'm just going to call it like a lightning thing. We're going to bring it right to the tip of that. A little more to the left there. Perfect. See how it kind of like bridges these two like streaks of lightning together? So what we're going to do, bring them right next to each other like this, nice in the middle, and we're going to shoot. And when we shoot, this should cover pretty much any spot that you would plant for. Oh, look at how perfect that is. Alright guys, forget what I just said. Actually, what you're going to want to do is bring it a little bit lower. As you can see, the top is probably about right there. So what you're going to do is come right around here, just a little tiny bit lower. I mean, we're really talking pixels, but with these, it sometimes matters. So right here, we're going to shoot. As you can see, I shot probably about there and there. And let's see where this molly lands. So what this molly actually does is this part in particular kind of slams itself back into the generator. So this should be almost 100% of the time. If you pull down just like I was showing you, this should be automatic. There should be no way this messes up. I'm pulling down just a little bit and shooting. This should hit right into the generator again. Let's see what it does. Yep, perfect. So just like that, you have a great post-plant molly here for generator. This should help win you a lot of rounds on Ascent. All right, guys, next up, we have B site on Ascent. So B is kind of a weird site. It's really open, but a lot of times you're going to plant here just because you've already cleared site and you know no one's back there. So what you can do is if, for example, this is going to be really tough if you're planting as a Brim, but if you're not, if you can make your way over to Pizza, I have a really cool molly here that should work every time. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to sort of line yourself up roughly with where the bomb is planted. You can kind of aim at the arch here at the edge of it if you want. Point your crosshair up into the sky, and we're looking for the third sort of rung here. I think these are shingles or something. So what we're going to do, aim at the bomb, up, go to the third one, right in the middle of it, sort of where that cloud is on my screen, and we're going to shoot. And what happens is, this is going to hit the front side of the boxes, and this is actually going to land directly on top of the bomb like that. There really aren't very many good spots to plant on B site, so if you are a Brim or you have a Brim and your Brim knows this molly, I highly recommend it. As I said, aim at that third shingle, and you should be able to nail this every single time. Guys, that is going to conclude the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everyone who has been suggesting this and asking for this. I'm glad I finally got around to making it. It was a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool mollies out there. I highly suggest you check the description of this video. I'm going to include some great YouTubers who inspired this and who have some great mollies themselves. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you subscribe for more content, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy and peace.